work just fine.
Can I talk really close and quiet?
I don't think it's one of those things where you can just...
I could be ASMR or whatever it is.
I'm gonna chew an apple. So, all right. Well, welcome everybody to the first ever 127 Studios podcast. This is how me and my friend Melissa here, better known as Missa, are choosing to work through the Corona-19 pandemic. Or is it COVID-19 pandemic? Finding little things to do that can express our creativity and get us together in small groups. Missa, how you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
Really good. So, I seen, was it 2-3 weeks ago, you started a YouTube channel.
I did. Missy's Hot Mess. I think that's a perfect...
It's perfect for you. I've toyed with different names and stuff. I think when I first started doing YouTube, I did, it was Sano Rocks Productions, XXX for the rocks. And then when I moved into photography, I kept using Sano Rocks Productions with the XXX, and needless to say, I didn't get a lot of business when I had that name for obvious reasons. I was like, well, I've already got a name that I'm already working under, so I'm going to
I just touched my face. Sorry.
Oh, well. When they say don't touch your face, I'm constantly like,
I know, me too.
I can't. Like,
what? Don't touch them. What?
Yeah, I eat and then I get I'm always like,
right.
And so I'm constantly touching my face, and or when my blood pressure spikes or something, I get really hot, and I'm always like, fuck, am I hot? I'm like, there's no stopping it. It won't stop. There's actually you see that video on Facebook, and it says, they say it's easy, don't touch your face, and then they played that kid from Dazed and Confused.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's just always touching himself, right. And
well, I play with my hair constantly, so I'm I can't help it.
I was watching one of your YouTube videos. The whole time you're talking, you're just, the entire time I'm like,
one of my friends pointed that out to me.
Is she worried about her hair?
No, when I'm tired, I twist it.
Uh-huh.
And so when I'm talking, I just play with it.
Yeah, my daughter grew out of that stage.
I apparently did not. I grew out of the thumb sucking, but not the hair twisting, apparently.
I'm gonna cap that one, because I could take that. Yeah, you stopped sucking thumbs, but no, but I messaged you with the first video I seen. I said, Missa, because I call her Missa. I call you Missa. I'd never call her Missy or Melissa. It's always Missa.
And I love that.
So. And I'm always like, Missa, I miss ya. I'm so glad that you started a YouTube channel. I only knew one other person that had a channel, and he was way better at everything than I am. This guy is musically talented. He was doing things with puppets. Shout out to Nick Cleaver. I think he calls it the Cleave. He also played with other names like...
Wait, is he related to my son's ex-girlfriend?
I have no idea. I don't know who he is and isn't related to, but he's kind of a shut-in like we are.
Oh.
So he'll once in a while, he'll put a video out there where he's just bored at home, and he writes a song and records a music video or something, and it's good.
Really? I'm already
good.
Jealous of him.
Yeah.
Any music ability, and you have more music ability than I do.
Well, I play. I just dabble in everything. I'm a
jack of all trades.
Master of none, right? I played a saxophone for 12 years, and I have a saxophone still, and I can still play it. Reading music, on the other hand, is a lot harder than I remember. And I'm trying to go through just your basic scale, and I'm Is it EDF? Is it DF?
All good boys do fine. Is that music or is that?
A, B.
I don't know. I can't remember if that's English or music. All good boys do fine.
Well, then there's a C in there because it's like A, B, C. Because it goes up the scale. I think your A is on the first line, not the first line, because you got the.
That was my watch. Sorry.
Oh, you got. I'm all like, whoa! That was something's vibrating. Just know, moving forward, if something's vibrating, it's you.
Oh, it's so. I'm completely random, and I'm just gonna keep interrupting you.
That's fine. How else are you gonna fill time? I mean, I can talk forever, and we all know this. I think anybody that knows me knows that I can just talk forever.
You're kidding me. This is the first I'm hearing this.
You had something to say?
My car seat vibrates if a car gets too close to me.
Mrs. driving down the road, just like she's like pulling up next to cars.
Right?
That's how I stay awake when I'm going to work.
The first time I felt it, I was like, what was that? Like, I was so confused. So I had to get out the owner's manual and figure. I'm like, whoa, I didn't remember ordering that package.
That's how they they're trying to prevent people from tailgating, and.
But what's sad is I refer to it as a granny car. So there must be grandmas out there that are.
What did you get again?
It's a Buick. A Buick Envision.
I bet it's nice though.
It is.
One of the first cars I got to drive when I was first licensed was my dad's Buick Century, and it looked like an old person's car. It had the big box trunk.
Right, you could fit 8 bodies in there.
Yeah, and but like that thing hauled ass, and I mean like I was taking it to school. And mama, I was going fast. So like, I remember the first day I had it, to digress off of the subject.
No worries.
First day I had it, I was driving home because we were doing, I was doing 2-a-days for football. Then I had like I had a couple hour break in between it, and then I'd go do marching. Yeah.
Oh, well, you played saxophone. Okay.
Yeah. So I can't remember. I think it was actually marching first, then 2-a-days, or vice versa. I think it was football, then marching, like I said the first time. Either way, there was a little break in between the two, and I would go home in between to get like dinner or something, and then I'd go back up. Or maybe we weren't doing 2-a-days, it was just regular practices. Anyway, then I'd go back up to school. But the first day on my way back, I got down to Floyd, and I was heading into Leeds, and this dump truck was in front of me, and it, with like branches and stuff in the back of it, and like a bunch of orange cones fell out of the back of it, and I was right behind him, and I'm just like, I'm like, oh God, like,
my dad's gonna kill me.
Dad, thanks for letting me borrow the car. By the way, wrecked it. I think I've ran into issues like that numerous times borrowing my dad's vehicle. There was another time he had this, I want to say it was his black Ford. And somebody probably, if anybody watches this and they know for a fact what truck my dad had in what house, you can correct me, but I believe it was the black Ford that he had. And I don't remember what I used it for, but it was the house down the road from the high school. So I took off, and there's like a little yield there, right? And I yielded, and the other car was just blazing through, like they didn't yield nothing. There was no like, hey, I see you, hey, I see you. I yielded, and it was icy and stuff. And then that car just came blowing by, and like I wasn't going to get stopped in time. So I kicked it in the ass, and like, and it was no shit. Like, I wish somebody would have been recording it, because it was like some Fast and the Furious shit where like the truck went sideways and the car kept going, and I just did like this like, U around it.
Barely missed.
Yeah, I was like, and then like took off up the road, and I'm all like, never would I be able to pull it off that smoothly again.
Right.
And so I was like, I should stop borrowing my dad's vehicles.
My first car in high school, I kick myself to this day for not taking better care of it. And then what I did with it when I was done with it, I had a 1980 El Camino. I would give anything to have that car back. The worst is what I did with it when I was done.
What was that?
Sold it to my brother for a race car.
Oh, and he gutted it. And
Used the frame under the race car.
My first car in high school was an 82 Camaro.
Nice.
And it was the first of that body style, that 80s style body style. So it didn't have the ground effects yet.
Yeah.
And it only had a V8 in it. But it still had the giant body. Like, first thing my uncle said was, oh, you could put a big block in that easy. And I'm all like, a big block? Well, maybe not a big block, but you could definitely put a bigger motor in that. And I was like, cool. So that was the plan moving forward, was that I was going to put a bigger motor into this car. Well, being a kid in high school and not making a lot of money, I actually quit playing football to work so I could afford to have my car. And I had a little track phone at that time. So I could afford to have my social life. But I blew the motor up in that. And one thing I can say about that car was that even when it was broken, it ran. Like, it wasn't gonna just die. It wouldn't just die on the side of the road. Well, except for the time that the fusible link went out to the starter. I was going to pick up the album for Sinistar. You remember that band?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a special order it because nobody was carrying it, and I ordered it from CD Warehouse. So I was going to CD Warehouse.
God, we're old.
So, CD stores?
Right.
What? You buying
CDs?
discs?
Why do you need CDs?
I got another story about that. I was coming onto the exit to get onto South Lakeport, and light turned green, and I kicked it in the ass, and it died instantly. And I rolled up onto the curb, and I had to walk to CD Warehouse. Can I use your phone, Dad? The car's broke down on Lakeport. So my dad and the entire family. So those of you that don't know, there's my dad, my stepmom, and 2 brothers and a sister, all piled into the car to come to Sioux City to help me out. By the time they got there, the half-hour drive between, well, they lived in Struble, so it was a little more than half an hour, but roughly half-hour drive it took them to get there, they had already towed it.
Oh.
Because the area it was so busy, they would just get it out of there, and I'm all like, so I had to pay for the towing, I had to pay to get it out, like, it was a nightmare. That was the only time that car ever really broke down on me.
I feel like cars nowadays aren't built like they used to be. Like,
that's definite.
I came from a car family and never had a lot of money, so it was always, you could trade somebody a case of beer for their old car sitting in their barn, or, here's $500, or, and you could drive that car 2-3 years until it died, and then you didn't worry about mileage, you didn't worry about any of that stuff, you just
I think the Camaro I drove for about a year and a half before it blew up, and I got that for $600 out of a cornfield.
Right. And that's the way I grew up, like, we're gonna get this car, $500, $600, and it's probably last us at least a year, if not. And then
while I was driving that one, I was buying parts off of another one that was in a field in Sioux City. Like, I was like, I'll take this, I'll take that. I think we eventually ended up, no, we didn't buy the whole car. We were going to, and then it like vanished.
Really?
Like, yeah, like it vanished, and the guy wasn't like answering his phone anymore. I think that's how it went. Like probably it wasn't even his car.
I remember my brothers had a Gran Torino, same paint job and everything as in Starsky and Hutch.
Oh, nice.
Right? Like, you know, they just got it. Probably a case of beer and $500 from somebody, and, you know, like, if I could have those cars back now that we had in the early 90s that my brothers had.
My dad and my uncle Jim will always talk about cars that they've had. Oh, I had this and your dad had that, and we'd tear up Main Street, or like I've got a cousin that's the same age as my dad almost, and like that's all they did was they just drank a lot and just tore up the town, you know, like we cannot live like that now. Like if we were just all like, it's Tuesday, what are we doing after work? Tearing up Lamar's.
Yeah.
That just wouldn't work anymore.
No.
But like, no, they like, and there's picture proof of a lot of this. Like I find pictures of Dad with these different cars and stuff. And my mom will be like, well, he had them, but they never ran. And I'm like, obviously they ran a little bit, but it was great. I wish I could have had half the cars my dad had. Like,
exactly.
They were cool then. To have something like that now
would be really cool. Finally, I'd be cool.
Yeah, right.
I would
finally be cool. But it's okay. My mom says I'm cool.
Right. Not cringy at all.
I'm the cool parent, you know.
Right. Not a regular mom. I'm a cool mom. Okay, no, I don't give my kids alcohol.
No, yeah. No, just drugs.
Right. Just a little Coke here and there.
Just a little, like, you know, here, snort this and go to bed.
Right.
Shh. Mommy needs some quiet time.
Right. A little me time. Shh.
I've met your kids, and I think maybe you do need to tranquilize them sometimes to give yourself some peace.
Right. They probably think the same thing about me, though, too.
Yeah, but it's different. You've earned it. You've lived it. You've been there. So you're to that point where you're like, I need a moment.
Honestly, right? Honestly, it's kind of scary because I think my daughter's a little tiny version of me. Like,
I bet definitely.
Oh yeah.
As much as your son is his dad, your daughter is you. Just the random shit that I see.
I think she's like one of the funniest people alive. I swear to goodness.
You'll post something. This is what we're doing, I guess, and I'm all like, yep.
Like, my son will always tell her she's adopted. That's his thing. He'll tell everybody, you're adopted. So kind of goes, hey, at least Mom and Dad wanted me. I'm like, yes.
That's my girl. Back to your YouTube channel. No, that's fine. Just so what do you I seen you've done some like dollar store finds, you've done some box group, like those monthly box things. You've done some of those. Like, are you looking to stick to reviews? I'm
a bit too random to stick to one thing. I think is going to be my biggest downfall on YouTube.
Well, and that was kind of me. You know, I made and all cringy, by the way. Terribly cringy. Like, yeah, I made these. I did music reviews and movie reviews, and I made like a dance video. I did like a vlog. I didn't know how to do the audio and video mixing and stuff at that time, so it was all like dubbed over with some I can't think of their name right now. It's a Random Memory Access is the name of the album. Daft Punk. There we go.
Sure, okay.
I just dubbed over the whole song the whole video with one song, and then it got muted on YouTube because I didn't have the copyright. So then my same friend that has his YouTube channel, I was like, yeah, they muted my video, and he was like, yeah, you can only use like 10-second clips.